3.
Start your engines.
1, go. Come on.
And they're off. Oh boy. Cece's already up 3-0. She's on fire.
Come on.
Eli's, all right, Eli's heating up. He's warming up.
Go, ball.
Oh, he's in a groove. 38-30. Eli's up.
What?
Come on, you need a three-pointer. You gotta step back.
I've never won a game against a guest before.
This isn't your typical athlete sit-down. Caitlin Clark traded buckets for laughs with a 2-time Super Bowl champion when she joined Eli Manning for what may have been her most entertaining interview to date. From Papa Shot showdowns to contests, and shocking confessions, the Manning-Clark chemistry has fans and the media buzzing about what may be the most authentic glimpse we've seen of basketball's biggest star. What began as a simple interview has turned into a viral sensation that reveals a whole new side of women's basketball's brightest light.
Thanks for coming on the show. I mean, it wasn't that long ago you were playing high school in Des Moines, and then you go to the Iowa first pick in the WNBA draft. Has it all sunk in? I mean, 5 years ago you were in a high school, now you're on the Eli Manning show.
I know. It's a dream come true, honestly.
I know.
I never thought this day would come.
Yeah.
It honestly has all moved really fast. I feel like it's just one thing to the next. I feel like I was just in high school. I feel like I should still be in high school, honestly, but college was great, and then now being in Indianapolis is a pretty good city. I don't know what you think about that, but your brother might agree.
Eli, I've been there many times.
But yeah, no, it's all moved really fast, but
Few people anticipated that Eli Manning's show would become the go-to source for viewing elite athletes in a whole new way when WNBA sensation Caitlin Clark entered Eli's world for an interview that is already regarded as the most entertaining and revealing of her professional career. The video opens with an instant demonstration of the competitive fire that has made Clark famous as the 2 square-off in a game of Papa Shot basketball, in which Manning jokes about having 2 balls, while Clark has a whole rack. "How many do you need?" she asks, displaying the personality that would shine throughout the entire segment. What immediately sets this interview apart is how Clark instantly matches Manning's playful energy for someone who has been under such intense media scrutiny. Despite being one of basketball's greatest shooters, watching her unwind and genuinely enjoy herself gives viewers a unique glimpse behind the meticulously maintained public persona we usually see at the Papa Shot competition, which reveals something fascinating. At first, Clark says, "I'm truly terrible at Papa Fired." It's a moment of self-deprecation that soon turns out to be untrue as she jumps out to an early lead. Manning then rallies to win, leading him to exclaim, "I've never won a game against a guest before." This lighthearted banter sets the tone for an interview that feels less like a media obligation and more like 2 athletes genuinely enjoying each other's company. The internet quickly seized on this authenticity with clips of their basketball matchup going viral within hours of being posted. The sit-down part starts with Manning acknowledging Clark's meteoric rise. "It wasn't that long ago you were playing high school in D. Then you go to Iowa as the first pick in the WNBA draft." A startling level of self-awareness emerges from Clark's response. "To be honest, I never imagined this day would arrive. Everything has gone by so quickly that I feel like I should still be in high school." This reflective moment is particularly noteworthy because, for someone who has handled fame with extraordinary grace, we hardly ever hear Clark discuss how quickly her journey has gone. This admission that everything transpired so quickly provides a glimpse into the person behind the highlight footage. It serves as a reminder that, in spite of her poise, Clark has undergone a life transition that few people can fully understand. Manning, whose brother Peyton became a legend there with the Colts, laughs knowingly when he mentions Indianapolis as a pretty good city. This small football connection foreshadows a revelation later in the interview that would send social media into overdrive when Manning asks which transition was harder, high school to college or college to the pros. Manning went from high school to national icon in just 5 years. This perspective on the unique challenges faced by WNBA rookies, who essentially have no adjustment period between draft day and their first professional game, provides context that many fans might not have thought of. Unlike NBA players who have summer league and months of preparation, WNBA players are thrown into competition immediately. Clark doesn't hesitate to say college to the pros. She explains that her college transition was somewhat cushioned by COVID restrictions, but the pro leap was startling. Perhaps the most telling moment occurs when Manning inquires about Clark's influence on women's basketball. "You've really popularized the game of women's basketball? I mean, do you ever think about that? It's not just basketball too, it's like all..." Women's sports, do you think about that, or are you just like, hey, I'm playing basketball, having fun? Clark's candid assessment of this challenging fact speaks to the structural challenges women's professional basketball still faces despite its growing popularity. Despite her cultural influence, Clark's response demonstrates a remarkable grounding. I feel like I don't really think about it that much. You just kind of go out there and try to do your job every single night. She adds thoughtfully, but the number of fans who show up and cheer for us, whether at home or on the road, is something you never take for granted. I always try to look around before the game starts and truly appreciate that this balance of humility and appreciation resonated strongly online, with many commenters expressing how refreshing it is to see an athlete of Clark's caliber maintain such a viewpoint. Because it's given in a conversation with a fellow athlete who is aware of the attention and knows that Clark's influence is particularly notable rather than emphasizing her personal accomplishments or brand growth, the moment feels exceptionally genuine. She emphasizes the group's accomplishments. This team-first mentality has been crucial to Clark's appeal because she has continuously positioned herself as an ambassador for the game rather than its individual star. The interview shifts toward the personal when Manning brings up Clark's jersey retirement at Iowa, pointing out that her number 22 was retired on February 2nd, and that number is showing up a lot. This illustrates just how popular women's basketball has become on both the collegiate and professional levels. Despite having strong ties to Iowa, Clark reveals something unexpected. She has only been twice since leaving for the WNBA. To be honest, I had assumed that I would return to Iowa City more frequently than I have, but this is only my second visit since I left. She acknowledges giving insight into how consumed her professional life has become. This comment captures the realities of the WNBA schedule and Clark's various business commitments, which have left little time for her to return to the location where she rose to fame. It was enjoyable to share with many past teammates who returned, current teammates and old coaches, because you know it wouldn't have happened without them. However, what makes this moment more poignant is how Clark instantly shifts to giving credit to others. This constant diversion of personal accolades has come to define Clark and has assisted her in avoiding the possible dangers of unexpected celebrity. The topic of discussion turns to Clark's historic collaboration with Trading Card Company, where she was the first female athlete to sign an exclusive contract. Her eyes brighten as she talks about how, as a child, I collected cards and would often argue with my older brother about them. Her relatability is further enhanced by this look into her early years. It serves as a reminder that before she broke attendance records and signed groundbreaking endorsement deals, she was just another Midwestern kid trading cards with her siblings. Clark's connection to basketball's collectible culture has helped her bridge different generations of fans, from those who grew up in the trading card boom of the 1990s to today's young collector who discovered the hobby through social media. The casual mention of childhood card collecting humanizes Clark in a way that carefully planned marketing campaigns rarely achieve. The story of her parents giving out her rookie cards on Halloween is possibly the most endearing part of the entire interview. Clark explains that her mother always gives them to young children who want to say hello or something, and her father left alone to handle trick-or-treaters while her mother went to a Taylor Swift concert in Indianapolis and ended up giving out her trading cards instead of candy. Over the next few days, random people just started showing up at the door, knocking and asking if they could have cards. She laughs, so it kind of backfired a little bit, but it just demonstrated how excited people were about it. This story instantly became well known among social media users. In contrast to Clark's more typical media appearances, the interview feels so new because of the unscripted personal details that are revealed, such as the image of Clark's father panicking and handing out important rookie cards, and the discovery that her mother is a Swiftie. The fact that neighborhood kids initially wanted the cards more than candy speaks volumes about how Clark has transformed sports into a cultural phenomenon, especially among young girls who now see professional basketball as a realistic dream. The Halloween card story also unintentionally highlights the skyrocketing value of Clark memorabilia in the secondary market, where her rookie cards have sold for thousands of dollars, making her father's spontaneous distribution possibly one of the most expensive Halloween giveaways in history. The topic shifts to the Caitlin Clark Foundation, where she briefly highlights her dedication to community impact and adds that it has been a lot of joy to focus on uplifting youngsters and giving back to both. I